all the power is at Campos and Galtier
It isn't.
and Nasser, of course. And
It
then
isn't.
between the players, they have another game, and there everyone has different amount of power. Right now, it's looking that like Neymar, Ramos are at the top of power alongside Kylian Mbappe, of course. If you
I,
look at the group, they seem to like Neymar or Ramos the most,
I
especially right
don't
now.
think that's what it is, though. I don't think that's what it is because we've always had player power at
Yeah,
PSG. Even their predecessors, like I was saying on my Twitter space, their predecessors have probably been worse, if not just as bad, because of how
Right.
much power they had. Like that whole Zlatan era, like Zlatan, Thiago Silva, all of them, even Neymar and Danny Alves at one point, this was a well-known thing.
yeah.
There was a lot of control in that locker room by players, even all the way to the point where it would reach the board. Like, like Nasser used to, like Thiago Silva was the only player at one point that was able to call Nasser directly on his phone. For what? Why?
Right.
You get
Right.
what I mean? It's always been there. And we always hear about fights, and the fights always start from that dynamic in the locker room. It's something I understand why it existed previously. I'm going to be gracious. It shouldn't have. But I understand why it existed then because it was a very new project, and these players were experienced and they did a lot of things for the wellness of the club. What they thought was for the wellness of the club and even for themselves. Let's not exclude that. There was a lot of ego. However, we're at a point, PSG is at a point where it's completely outgrown that. It's outgrown even the way we used to recruit players, right? We said no more quote unquote bling bling, right? Why did we say that? Because we've outgrown the seeking the people who have already experienced their prime and them coming in for one last hoorah. We can't get players like that anymore. We've outgrown even the way we marketed ourselves because we had to do a lot of heavy lifting from our recruitment. Can't do that anymore. Now with the player power issue, we we have people in place who are fully capable. We have outgrown that. We should not have people making decisions, contractual agreements, like based off of their contracts and all that stuff. We should not be having that in our team anymore.
But what power are you talking about?
Powers of who to exclude and who to include, making non-sporting decisions as to
Who
like
can
who
make?
should,
So who has this power?
dude, what do you mean who has this power?
No, I'm serious. No PSG player has this power.
So all of a sudden the old habits have died very very quickly? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it because that last game really showed us that it has not died out.
No, I think from the game is that Mbappe. I don't know if he was promised when he got extended that he would be the main penalty taker. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's the thing that made Mbappe angry and so on. But I don't think there was any player power. I don't think there's anyone like that. No,
It is player power.
the power is still at Nasser's hands,
No,
as it always is, and he has given it out to Galtier and Campos.
I don't think Nasser really had that much power. He didn't even have the power to fire Poch or Leonardo. That's not his decision. He's there. He has certain amount of power, but I don't think he really has much of a say in a lot of the things.
He wanted to sack Poch. He just wanted Zidane.
He can't. He couldn't. He couldn't
Yeah,
sack
but
Poch. That
because
was
no, no,
Qatar.
no, no, because he wanted Zidane. He tried getting Zidane for an entire year, and as soon as he got Zidane, he would have sacked Poch, but it never happened. So in the end, when the Zidane got done, he got Galtier.
You're missing what I'm saying. He cannot sack him even if he found Zidane. That is off of Qatar and what they want. That
Yeah,
comes
but I
straight
put I
from them.
put all of that in one. I put all of that in one circle. Nasser and the Qatar group.
But
They're
they're
in
not
one
in one
circle. They have
circle
all the
though.
power.
They're not in one circle because even in that dynamic, and that's what I said when they hired Campos, it's like this is the same system with just new people. Because back at that time, he couldn't even sack Leonardo, whom he despised apparently. He couldn't sack Leonardo because it was Qatar who hired him. He's not. He's not. He's like a separate branch in this hierarchy. He's not above those two. He can't even control the coach. Everything has to be approved by
No,
the
no,
top.
Nasser definitely controls the coach, and I think with Leonardo, we discussed it before. Leonardo and Nasser were always close, so I think it was hard for him to sack him,
Oh
even though
come
he should have sacked him earlier on, and then he sacked him when the season got done. I don't listen to these stuffs. I know that Nasser has power. I know that Nasser wanted to sack Pochettino. I know that for sure. He just wanted to try to get Zidane, which he couldn't. That's why it took so long for the sacking of Poch, because he didn't have another alternative. It was Zidane or nothing. Then at the end, he got Galtier. And I
the
think that,
the coach is not Nasser's decision. He can hate him. He can love him. He can do whatever he wants. He can't sack them. He can't sack the sporting director. That's not in his job description. He can't do it. A lot of the big issues and a lot of the issues concerning employment, he has to really stand back and then do nothing because he can't do anything. That's the weird part about his position.
no, 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 no. Nasser has to. I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this. What Qatar has done is they have given all the power to Nasser. But then I can agree that if they want something, they would tell Nasser, listen, we want this to happen. We want to, yo, Messi's for free, let's get him, or something like that. But I think they have given
You
all the
see
power to
how
Nasser, because then you're saying that Nasser is a puppet. So he
he's
is not
there
president.
in there. He's there to represent them. He's the president. He does what he's told. The people up top, QSI and stuff, they're the ones who call the shots of here's who we should get. Here's who we should sack. And QSI wanted Zidane. It didn't come
Yeah.
straight from Nasser. Nasser didn't sit in his office chair and be like, I want Zidane.
No, I
No.
think they both wanted Zidane. Similar to Messi, I think both the Qataris and Nasser wanted Messi.
I'm sure the desire
I'm
was
not.
there.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is QSI, when they put Nasser as the president, he was given all the power. But I can agree that when they want something, they will tell Nasser, all right, do this, do this. I don't think they have all this control. I don't think they put that much thinking and energy into PSG. They let Nasser do most of the work, and then occasionally they might go, all right, not yet, do this, like that.
No,
But
there
other
are
than that, Nasser is the
responsibilities.
one that does most of the stuff around
There are
PSG.
responsibilities that he has. The only issue is when it concerns the sporting director and the coach, he doesn't have a say in that by himself. He can't just sack a sporting director because he didn't hire them. QSI did. That's why he couldn't sack Leonardo.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have power.
No, I didn't say he didn't have power. I said concerning the coach and the sporting director, he doesn't have much of a say. He has to sit there and
He did have
grovel
a
if he
much
has
of a
an
say,
issue.
but I think that it's both need to agree on that.
I don't think they're that consenting when it comes to those two positions. Like all the other stuff, okay, fine, you can argue how
Yeah,
much
I
say
think
he has.
I think both Nasser and and the Qataris wanted Poch out for a long time, but
No,
it
I
was
think they
just
all wanted Poch
Zidane.
out.
Yeah, it was just Zidane being a bitch for no reason that it took so long. But when it comes to the players, I mean, when you look, for example, when Mbappe scored, when Marquinhos came and hit him on his head, I think that the relationship between the players is good, and I don't believe these rumors about Mbappe and the power and stuff. I don't
Me either.
believe in that stuff.
I
Me
I
Like
either.
when
believe
they
it.
when they said when they said that stuff about the Argentinian group, I knew this is fake, because Di Maria's departure and Paredes' departure has nothing to do with Kylian Mbappe. PSG have been trying to sell Paredes for a long time, 3-4 seasons in, and Di Maria, before the season started, we knew this was going to be his last season.
That's not true because we were trying to extend Di Maria. They changed their mind halfway through the season. Same for Paredes when they dismissed any rumors of getting rid of
No,
Paredes.
no,
They
Paredes.
tried to extend him last season.
Paredes, we wanted to sell him in the past 2 seasons to Inter, I remember.
No, but
No,
then
it's
they
no,
also
it's
tried
right
to
and wrong.
extend
No,
him.
it's right and wrong. Princess is right. They did try to extend him, and then the deals fell short. And then Di Maria also the last link that he had, the strongest link to Barca. Before that happened, PSG said no, and then the COVID year they extended because then that was the initial extension that Cavani didn't say yes to. Di Maria's contract was up as well. He got that extra year, and then he was supposed to get another year, a 1+1. PSG didn't want to give him the extra +1, and the negotiations went sour, and here we are right now.
They
So yeah,
negotiated for that extra year for him to stay. It broke down at some point in the second half of last season.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but no
I'm not.
correlation to Mbappe.
We don't have any proof of that, so I'm not going to speak on that. But I will say that, like, when it comes to player power, I have every reason to believe that it exists. So this doesn't sound crazy to me. Like, oh,
I,
Mbappe asking for responsibilities, Mbappe asking for XYZ that are
I,
outside of sporting reasons. I'm not shocked.
I, I believe that the player power exists, but I'm gonna be honest. I think 2020 UCL run when Verratti and the team had that meeting in the about the season or how PSG was gonna move forward. I feel like that's when we made the turn as a team. Like all this extra, like we've never heard of any concrete like since Munier, Rabiot, those guys left, Danny Alves. It's media that talk. Like I hear more. I really try to find some of these locker room disparate like situations that they speak of, and I don't really find any. Like it's really the media who says, "Well, the manager's gonna have a hard time managing that locker room." Like even the managers, like Neymar, the South Americans, they speak glaringly about them. We don't hear anything about Mbappe cause like. So who are these figures in the locker room that we so have to worry about all the time?
The thing is that after COVID, once the departure of some of the players that you said left, it was very quiet. I think even with last year's horrible performance, I think they were probably at their most peaceful state.
Yeah, it's no
But
question.
but it doesn't shock me. I'm not going to throw the idea of player power out the window simply because it was quiet last season.
But
They
the
had
the,
nothing to be loud about. Everybody was equally trash. It
the,
was a
the
very
thing
humbling experience.
the thing about player power is I agree that it's there, but it's just the way that they're painting the player power. Like it's how they're making everything a bit too absolute. Like we all know Mbappe has no bro, Shake, they're not looking at Mbappe for any creative like there's nothing that they're gonna go to Mbappe and ask about the
No,
actual
no,
runnings
not
of the club.
no, 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 no.
No,
No, cuz
I'm
the
talking
thing is
about
that
the
was
logistics. Not actual, not players or like managers. Yes, I think they will run things by Mbappe because that's what every top club do with their players that they care about. Every top
Yeah,
club
like
in the
that's
world right
When
now.
Messi was at Barca, he wanted some players to join. For example, I think maybe Aguero. I'm not 100% sure, but other players that joined Barcelona throughout the years, Messi was the person who said, "Yo, you should sign this player. I played with him in the national team. He's good." And I think that's the power Mbappe has at max. He doesn't have the sporting director that he can
no,
sell any player, he can
I'm not
sub
talking
off
about
any
that one.
player.
Yeah, I don't think that.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
never gonna
I'm
believe
not
that.
I'm not talking about like him taking Campo's spot. Like that's not what I'm saying. But like it's kind of like I feel like he may suggest a few players like,
I
like you
agree.
said,
I
suggest a few
agree.
players and also suggest those who leave.
Yeah, and
Because
that's
when
normal.
you buy those players, some of them got to go. You know what I mean? I'm not saying anything outside of that. The time where players would probably interfere greatly was a thing of the past, and that once did exist. I
No,
just
for
feel like,
sure.
yeah, that's not.
Princess, you think Francisco Totti wasn't giving
Of
guidance or like getting
course.
advice this is the world we live in. Even me at my company right now, I'm not even really a big wig at my company, but the owners, the inventory managers, or people they come to me and ask my input on certain things. I can technically say, yeah, I have the ability to sway opinion in the workforce, but technically I don't. I'm just a member of the team, and because they respect my acumen, they'll let me know certain things. But bro, no way do people. And Princess, you don't. I'm not saying you, but people who we're talking to, we're like we being the fans, giving the people what they actually should know. People think that Mbappe literally is Campos at the club. Like they legitimately
No,
think
no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mbappe has powers at the club
Not
to say,
combos.
Neymar, play right wing. Danilo,
No.
go to Porto for a year. Like, people really think he has these super villain powers at the club, and it's not true.
Yeah,
That part is true.
like last night, I was just scrolling through YouTube, and you know the YouTube site, Oh My Goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I clicked onto
I
that,
saw the
and it's
video.
Come on.
and the start off is like dispute at Paris Saint-Germain, and then they say the owner of Paris Saint-Germain, Kylian Mbappe, and I'm like, all the kids who watched these stuff must think that Mbappe is the owner or at least sporting director of PSG, and that's so delusional. Like, I'm not worried about PSG fans' perspective of PSG because we think and we know what's true. But I'm thinking about outside PSG. They are misled. They're misinformed about what's happening at Paris Saint-Germain. And I mean, it's boring. It's boring.
No,
Why?
that was probably once upon a time. That was probably closer to the truth. Once upon a time. But
But
I
even
think at this
Zlatan, though,
point,
even Zlatan, Princess Zlatan never had, and he was bigger than Mbappe at P. Like, Zlatan was
Oh,
bigger than
oh,
he
yeah.
Mbappe
also
right now
had
at PSG.
way more influence, though.
Yeah, for sure. But
He
he didn't
did have
have that much
influence.
influence. Now I'm saying the influence that they're saying Mbappe have, Zlatan didn't have, and Zlatan was literally breaking every single rule possible.
No, Zlatan did a lot of stuff. Like, oh my gosh, do you remember the stuff about Johan Kabay?
Yes.
Dude, like, Thiago was literally like, you don't fit in, basically. Like, I don't want you playing kind of stuff. It was like, what the hell? Some of the stuff that the predecessors used to do, I think people would lose their mind. They would
That's
lose
why.
their mind.
That's why when Thiago Silva goes on record and says certain things, I'm like, Thiago, respect you, I love you, but bro, you, like, you're not a part. You're not. You don't go away from a lot of the stuff that's happened to this club. You're a part of the reason why. If it wasn't for you, how you were acted when you came from AC Milan, and respectfully so, you were the best center back in the world, arguably. Like, I understand you were young with the ego. You change when you get older, but I'm just saying, when he said stuff like Neymar has to come to Chelsea and this about PSG, I get it comes from a scoring place because how they handle his departure. But bro, we can't, like, if people saw that PSG, they wouldn't like PSG and they wouldn't be
No, no.
PSG
No,
fans.
I think when Thiago Silva talked about Neymar, it had nothing to do with what's his relation with PSG. It's just him being a friend, really
yeah.
close friend with Neymar. And it was when the media were saying, "Oh, PSG want to sell Neymar." He was like, "All right, if they don't want you, come here."
Yeah,
In a Neymar Thiago Silva perspective, nothing to do with PSG, because when we lost to Real Madrid, he put out a story about it and said, "Always a Parisian" or something. So
But the
he
thing is,
yeah.
with Thiago Silva, I had the opposite reaction because, like, when he says stuff like that, I understand why he says stuff like that. It's because he's been saying stuff like that for the last 10 years. It's just nobody noticed. Like, he has always spoken his mind. So,
for
like,
sure.
I know from where it's come from. Like, I get where it's come from because I think that's just how he is. He's very blunt personality. But that was what sustained the locker room, kind of. That was the type of energy that they were working with. But I think in this particular case, I think that there's I'm not going to throw away everything that I hear. Like, it doesn't matter with who says it at this point. Cuz, like, with when the journalist that came out and said he wanted to dismantle the Argentinian group and stuff like that, that journalist is a highly credible journalist. You can take anything that anyone says with a grain of salt, but I can't dispose it because of his previous work. So I'm just going to leave it there. We have no proof, but that's why you just got to store things in the back of your mind and move on.
David, what
Yo,
do you
what's
think
up?
about
What's
all of
up?
this?
What's
What's
up?
up,
What's up?
David?
What's up? Yeah. What I think about all this? I mean, wait, like is it Mbappe's power or like getting rid of the Argentines, the South Americans? Which one?
All of it.
All
Yeah.
of it. Okay. Do I think Mbappe has power? Like the power people talk about? No. But does he have? Does his opinion matter in some things in the club? I'll say yes, because I think like him like again Mbappe's figure right now, like he's like the main. I'll say he's the main guy, but like him staying. There's obviously like promises made to him that made him stay, other than go to Madrid. I don't know the promises. Nobody knows the promises. That's for Mbappe and PSG. But I wouldn't deny that he has some influence in some decisions around the club for the future. But getting rid of the Argentines like Leonardo Paredes and Di Maria, I mean they have been linked. Like Paredes has been linked ever since Tuchel left to leave to to Syria in general. For Di Maria, I believe getting rid of Di Maria would just like to lessen the wage bill, which they've been trying to do for a long time in general, because you can't have him sitting on those wages while being a bench player most of the time. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my take on it.